morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to introduce myself as Nazeen and my colleagues Ayoob and Usman. And today we are going to do a presentation about the strategic choices and impact. And let's move on to the next slide. I would like to talk about the objective of the presentation. It's to compare and contrast two leading financial institutions of Sri Lanka and to have an external analysis from both internally and externally and to compare their products and services. First of all, I would like to give you a brief introduction about the finance company. The finance company was the country's first finance company, and they are in the market for around 8 years, and they have served over 800,000 customers, and they have 60 branches in Sri Lanka. Then I would like to introduce you about the Singaputra Finance, which their head office is situated in Kandy, and Singaputra Finance was established in 1978, and they are in the market for 34 years. And their mission is to instill a spirit of excellence in all their undertakings, and their vision is to be the most secure and stable finance company in the sphere of their services. Next, we would like to compare and contrast the products and services of both the organizations. You can see the differences between the finance company and the Singapore Finance Company products and services. The products of the finance company are fixed deposits, easy loans, deposit savings, and housing project, land sales, leasing, hire purchase, etc. And the Singapore Finance products are deposits and savings, hire purchase and leasing, loans, pawnbroking, vehicles for sale, and real estate constructions and vehicle imports as well. For the financial comparison of the Singapore Finance and the finance company, I would like to call my friend Usman to continue.
Thank you, Nazeen. I am Usman, and I'm going to compare the Singapore Finance and the Finance annual report. When comparing the net profit comparison, the revenue of the finance company is 4,689,361,695, and net profit of Singapore Finance is 54,152,946. So that is pretty much the revenue pretty much higher than the Singapore Finance. And when comparing the net profit of the finance company, it's 220,109,554, and the net profit for the year of the Singapore Finance is 54,152,946. That's because of the revenue which the finance has more. Let's move to the next slide. And when comparing the operating expenses of both the companies, the personnel cost of the finance company is more higher than the Singapore Finance. That's because they are well established and they have more branches when comparing to the Singapore Finance. And let's move to the next slide. When comparing net profit for the year of both the companies, the net profit for the year of the finance company is 399,712, while the Singapore Finance net profit is 54,152,946. Because they do have a loss. The finance company have a loss because they have a higher expenses than the Singapore. So let's move to the total assets of both the companies. When comparing the total assets, the finance company has an asset of 20,142,493,903, while Singapore Finance has 4,852,170,923. That's because the finance company has investment in hire purchases, more hire purchases. That is 3,742,227,923. Let's move to the next slide. When comparing the total liabilities of both the companies, the total liability of the finance company is way higher than the Singapore Finance because they have long-term loans, public deposits, so that's not a good thing for a good organization. And let's move to the next slide. The finance company, the total liabilities and shareholder funds of the finance company is 20,000 142,493,905, and while the Singaputra has total liabilities and equities as 4,852,170,923. So let's compare the ROCE calculation of both the companies. The calculation of the ROCE is this is the format: earnings before interest and tax divided by capital employed. So the Singaputra finance ratio was 0.95% and the finance ratio was minus 1.60%. That's not a good for the business. So let's move to the next slide, and I would call upon Ayoob to explain the next slide.
Thank you, Usman. Hello everyone, my name is Ayoob, and first I would like to talk about the finance company's 7S, I mean the McKinsey's 7S framework analysis. You can see the 7S is of course strategy, structure, system, skills, style, staff, and share volumes. And these are the strengths and weaknesses of finance company. And next, I'm going to talk about the Singaputra's 7S analysis. Strength and weaknesses, of course, there. Next, of course, I'm going to talk about the strength of finance company. You can see it is the most reputed finance institution, and it was established in 1940, and it have more than 60 branches in island-wide Sri Lanka. And weaknesses, they are lacking marketing and lack of strategic relationship and underutilized capacity, particularly in rural services, rural areas. And opportunities, of course, customers are looking for an ongoing relationship. It means they are looking for the customer loyalty, so they can the finance company can do more services like this. And threats, of course, currency fluctuation. They these days the big threat, of course, for the finance companies in Sri Lanka, they are the currency is fluctuating, and this is the stock analysis of Singaputra Finance PLC. They are also one of the most reputed finance company. It was established in 1978, and they have a large manpower with relevant finance skills to manage the operations. And weaknesses, of course, they are day by day increasing the rates of leasings, and they have high operating costs. And opportunities, of course, the same. Customer loyalty, they are looking for customers are looking for an ongoing relationship. And threats, of course, currency fluctuation. And this is the best analysis for both both companies, I mean the industry. You can see the political factors, economical factors, and socio-cultural factors. Then the technological factors, and ecological factors, and legal factors. And next I'm going to talk about the Porter's FIFOs for the industry, I mean the finance industry. The bargaining power of customers, of course, high, because Sri Lankan private or government banks provide homogeneous kind of services, and power of the suppliers, of course, it's low, because finance companies have to meet many regulatory which will be issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. And company driver, of course, it's high, because you can see the substitutes, of course, company driverly. I'm going to talk about the company driverly. It's high because number of the finance services like public, private, and foreign and corporate banks are there in Sri Lanka. Availability of substitute also high, because the customers can substitute. I mean, they can switch for other services like other mutual funds, treasury bills, government securities, and non-banking financial companies. Threat of new entrant, of course, it is low, because if we are going to open up a new finance company, there are more regulatory bodies which are issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. And next I'm going to talk about the benchmarking of the companies, and I have also at the competitors of the finance of the two organizations. And you can see these are the services: leasing, Islamic finance, loans, and etc. etc. The unique services of course LB Finance have kid savings and money transferring, and the People's Leasing, they are doing services like investment and insurance, and Singer Finance, they are in foreign exchange. And this is the customer mapping, competitor mapping I have done. And the finance company is in the top in high quality and high expertise. And next I would like to call Nazeen to continue. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'm going to talk about the recommendations I will give to the board of the companies. First of all, the recommendation I would like to give for the finance company are to gradually introduce and invest on new services to the market to attract customers. They can innovate new products and attract the customers like the Singaputra is doing. For example, legal imports. Reduce the risk of liabilities by increasing the number of assets and setting the accruals. As my friend Usman explained to you that they have more liabilities compared to the assets, they can increase the number of assets and reduce the risk. And setting up new marketing strategies and investing on R&D and to satisfy customers, to retain and to have a long ongoing relationship with them, because the customers are very important for any type of organization, and reduce operating costs by setting up and implementing cost cutting strategies. And the recommendations I would like to give to the Singaputra Finance Company is to satisfy employee needs, fair pay and motivation should be done. As my friend Ayoob explained to you, the labor turnover is high in the Singaputra Finance Company, and to reduce the competitive risk by reducing leasing rates and compared to the new players in the finance industry, and invest and open branches in rural areas to increase the market share, like the finance company is doing, where they have 60 branches in the country and they have just 7 branches in Sri Lanka, and making use of the non-performing assets while selling them, investing on upcoming opportunities, and etc. And the conclusion we would like to give is, we have come to know both of the companies are offering different types of products and services, as well as the finance industry is one of the most competitive industry in the world as well as in Sri Lanka. And we have come to know that the Singaputra Finance PLC is doing better compared to the finance company. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you may ask. These are the references we have used to our presentation.
If you have any questions, you can ask.
So then just tell me what are the key factors which are influencing on this Singapore to get the competitive advantage over the finance, whereas the finance has got that much of big, huge capital investment, and with the reputation over a long period of time than the Singapore.
I would like to recommend Singaputra Finance Company to expand their reach to the customers and cater more to the customers, whereas the finance company is having more than 800,000 customer base. So I hope the Singaputra company will compete with the finance company in the future.
And also they have a good customer satisfaction methods, like the finance.
Thank you everyone.